Welcome to the Collective Awakening podcast, creating a loving and sacred space to share truth and knowledge, bringing together from around the world like-minded souls who wish to share their truth and wisdom in this great time of conscious awakening.
Hosted by Chris and Stephen of the Purple Mountain Spiritual, Health and Wellbeing Centre. Hello friends, and welcome to the Collective Awakening podcast, and we are live tonight with Chris and Stephen of the Purple Mountain Spiritual and Wellbeing Centre, and we're once again joined by our friend from over the water, Max Reeder. Comes to us, he's an energy healer and self-mastery coach, and we've spoke to Max many times, always really energetic talks, so we're really looking forward to what this evening brings. So welcome back, Max, once again.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure to see you. Pleasure to be connected again. My window just now had a seizure. Hang on. Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still on. You're okay. You're still with us, but we could still see you.
Okay. All right. That was weird. Hi. Good to see you guys. Yeah. Great to be here. Great to be connected. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, I feel it'd be a good place to start, because we're on talk number 3 now. We've done with you now, Max. Is maybe I wanted to ask you what your passions are and the work you do in healing, what your vision is for it in the future, what you would like to see in the world as it unfolds.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Well, we kind of were just talking right before we came on about Wim Hof and, the Iceman. He holds the world record. I think that he was underwater in the Arctic for 2 hours without his core body temperature changing at all. And so what he did was he took an ancient spiritual practice, Tumo, and just stripped it of all the dogma, stripped it of all the maybe religious connotations, and he brought it to the world as a practical practice methodology that anyone could implement into their lives for weight loss, for longevity, for whatever benefits. So he did a really smart thing there, and taking something that was around for thousands of years and making it more accessible for everyone else. To me, that's how I see Qigong. That's how I see energy healing. We have this, as of right now, this massive global shift in people awakening to the fact that we are energetic beings, that this is to some extent an illusion, and that we can control and manipulate with our consciousness. And maybe those are strong words, but you get the idea. And so my vision is literally the only reason why I see me having a need, so to speak, to be alive is to spread this to the world and make such dramatic waves in the world that my life here feels worthwhile. And this is what the decision that I made when I got out of the Navy. I didn't know the scale that it was going to be, but I did know that I was going to figure out how to master this conscious experience and help others do the same. The thing is, I don't want to just do that. I don't want to just play small. There's a lot of good in the world. There's a lot of people that want to take advantage of other people and just hope that nobody speaks out or nobody comes forward. Or we need to change the collective direction that we're moving in. And so it falls to each and every one of us to make some kind of movement in ourselves. So my vision is just to make spirituality practical for the entire world, and bring out, make energy healing a household conversation, make it more mainstream to recognize that we are the cause of all of our suffering. And the stuff that we see in the world, the global agenda that's being disseminated to the populations for belief systems that we're supposed to adhere to, it's meant to sow seeds of confusion so that we're not awakening to our infinite nature, so that we're not finding coherence and cohesion within our bodies and amongst one another. So yeah, pretty much I want to do what Wim Hof did for Tumo. I want to do that for Qigong.
Yeah. So it's simply put, it's a spiritual mission.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all experiencing this great dream that we keep waking up back into every day for some reason, but it is just a dream. If you wake up in a dream and slap the walls and stomp your feet, you'll notice it's no more or less real than this is.
Yeah.
We just keep waking back up into this. We're anchored to this plane of reality for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, I'm here to enjoy. I'm here to make waves and make change. And I'm talking global.
You just mentioned there, Max, about Qigong.
Yeah, sure.
Can you sort of tell people a little bit about what Qigong is and what it entails and what are the benefits of Qigong in your energy healing work?
Sure. So yeah, we have this big spiritual movement across the world, right? Everybody is turning on to meditation and realizing like, oh, it can help you with problem A, B, and C. The thing is, a lot of people meditate and they're not really getting a lot out of the experience. And then maybe they'll even quit after months or years of trying, because what they're really just doing is breathing calmly for a few minutes for whatever amount of time they're doing. A lot of the time, we're not incorporating our body. We're not breaking any barriers. What Qigong allows you to do is deepen the level of baseline relaxation in your body and break through those barriers where we're holding tension, that we don't broach these barriers when we're like, say you're in a seated meditation and you're just enjoying yourself and you're just like, oh, I feel so zen, I feel so nice. Maybe you're trying to like overcome emotional overwhelm, whatever. You can get to a certain space of equilibrium with regular meditation. But a lot of people have this like escapist mentality about it, where they're escaping from the body. They're not becoming more present in the body. They're becoming more calm maybe, but they're not present. They're not claiming the space inside of the body. And Qigong helps you to do that. If I had to sum it up, I would probably say that Qigong helps you to reclaim fully the space inside your body.
Wow.
A lot of people probably wouldn't define it like that, but that's been my experience with it.
And have you been working quite a long time with Qigong? Is that an integral part of your healing work?
A long time. I've had really good teachers for the last 6 years, but not a long time.
Oh, wow. And what was interesting before, Max, as well, when you were talking about ancient healing practices, and I find here at the Purple Mountain in the UK, it's something that we've been doing for the past 10 years with the healing work that we do here, is combining ancient healing techniques with the modern spirit. And it's all about, we feel, all about getting people to remember and assisting people to reconnect back to spirit, back to nature, back to the circle of life. Because particularly in the Western culture, as you're probably very aware with your clients, there is such a mind, body, and spirit disconnection between them, their own spirit, the heart, and the earth and the universal energy when we look at things like prana and chi. And by assisting them and moving them into that energy, can have a profound positive effect on themselves. So what I'm trying to sort of ask you there, Max, is so what are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts on people shifting? I don't understand.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. We're in an awesome time right now where we don't get burned at the stake for talking about stuff like that. You know, we have a big global movement of people changing. There's also a lot of false prophets. You know, people. It's like I don't know, so many branches we could go here. There's a big global shift happening, and that's awesome. I mean, I wouldn't be successful doing what I'm doing. I think you guys wouldn't either, unless there was a demand for it, right? So I think it's an amazing time to be alive. I'm really grateful to be alive, specifically in this timeline that we're in. People are either ready for it or they're not. Some of the people that are incarnated right now, that are alive on this planet right now, are not going to experience a spiritual awakening. They're not going to experience a big healing. And that's fine. That's not part of their soul agreement. That's not what they're here to do. You know, there's some people that I love and care about very much that don't care about their healing. And that's okay. We're all here for different reasons. But it feels like, and it observationally seems like, a lot of people that are here, you know, we're here to make a big shift, like make a global shift. And we're seeing that these global controllers, these rich elite few that are trying to manipulate the masses, are seeing that their programs aren't sticking like they thought. The sheep aren't being manipulated as easily as they wanted them to be, and they're seeing that everything is not working out exactly like they wanted to. And so it's really this battle between light and dark. And I don't really see it as a battle, honestly. I mean, it's just because you can't see it as, you can't be in this fight mode and be in healing, because there's fighting and then there's healing.
Well, it's just a duality, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
as everything unfolds, and I agree with you, Max, 100%. I think it's an incredible time to be on the Earth plane, and whether we want to accept it or not, we've all chosen to be here at this specific time for a reason.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's an incredible time, as in there's so much of this energy work around, and pretty much where anybody lives, they will be able to reach out or find somewhere or community where there is some kind of healing work going on, and that's fantastic, I think. But also coupled with that is the other side is being revealed as well, so that's ramping up. It's just the way of the world right now. It's unfolding.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything that's happening is stuff that needs to happen. If it's stuff that's hurting people, then it's stuff that needs to happen to bring the collective to a certain level of consciousness and awareness. So yeah, I mean, it's just, any way you look at it, it's a good time to be alive, and I'm grateful to be here. I don't know what to say next. There's a lot of different things that we could say here.
I was going to say to you, Max, there about when you were talking about observing and not reacting to, the dualities, concentrate on you, concentrate on your healing work. That's important as well, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That's so key. And that's a big thing that is relevant in someone's healing process too, is how willing are you to passively observe rather than going into resistance, rather than going into the hardcore belief pattern that you're so entrained in. Maybe it's from your upbringing, maybe it's from the way, like, your industry that you're involved in or whatever, but you have this belief pattern that may conflict with world events. And as the more that you go into judgment and fighting the world events that are going on, or things that are happening in your life, things that someone crossed you or whatever, the more that you're going into this resistance state, you're accumulating tension in the body. You have less power over your entire life. You basically, the moment you start going into tension and resistance, you are creating your own hell loop. And you will continue to have undesirable experiences in this hell loop until you dissolve the resistance. And everybody's afraid to dissolve this resistance. But the thing is, it comes down to ego and soul.
Yeah.
The infinite part of you that's interconnected with everything that exists. And then there's your ego that wants to be right, that wants to be separate, that wants to be, wants to project their own version of events onto everything. Like, everything needs to happen this way exactly, rather than all perspectives being allowed to be expressed. And that is the key to embodying this passive observation, is to remember that everything is allowed. And a lot of people have problems with this because, oh no, I have these moral beliefs that that people aren't allowed to do this. Well, as long as you project that someone needs to behave according to what you believe, you're not inside yourself. You're not present within yourself, and you're not able to make a change.
Because so many people are scared of judgment, and then there is shame and guilt of that judgment. And that's where people then reserve in them and end up then maybe reverting back. But it's deep healing work. And I know we've talked about this before, Max, when people do get into their own self-healing work, it's not, I'm not saying it's not easy. It is hard. But if we do surrender, if we do let go to the process, which is actually fundamentally so simple, and go with the flow, and help us reconnect back to that light and energy, it can be an amazing experience. It doesn't have to be hard. A lot of people talk about, things being difficult. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah. The hardest part is the anxiety before, or before the healing, or the strife that you're experiencing before, because it's an instant. It takes a moment. It takes a moment to have that opening occur, to have this. I notice it, like we can notice it right now. Like we're in a live interview right now. There could be some pressure to perform or speak. So, and I do this also when in my coaching calls, group coaching calls. If I feel like I have the burden of expectation to give or to perform, then I'm going to be unpresent. I'm not going to be in my flow state. So it's something, it takes an instant shift for any of us to do this. You can go within with your awareness and feel your heart, the heart space where my medallion is right here. You feel that space in your body, and you feel where you may be feeling pressure on yourself, where do you feel uncomfortable in the situation right now, and then you open. You visualize, or you can feel this opening sensation. Maybe your molecules are spreading apart, whatever. Open has an energy. The word open, the energy of that, it has a meaning that the body understands. And so opening your heart and letting go of expectations allows you to enter into this flow state where now you're speaking without thinking, you're acting without thinking. You don't have to filter everything, and everything is happening perfectly in synchronicity and alignment with what it needs to be. I don't remember what the question was that you were asking.
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on, because it's something that we learned a long time ago, particularly with some of our plant medicine work, that when you are in that state of, going with the flow and letting go and being in the state of the heart center, things does work effortless. Everything does effortless. And this is what we say to people. Things doesn't have to be hard. The life doesn't have to be hard and difficult. Yes, the lessons will always be there, but it's we as a human being, we are energy as well. And when we resist, we like banging ourselves against the door. And as we're going down the river, we smashing ourselves again. We don't have to have a journey like that. It can be beautiful and effortless.
Exactly. I was just in an ice bath right before this call. And the first thing that you do when you go in an ice bath is your lungs your body starts going into shock, and your lungs want to it's like this resistance wall that we hit. And the solution is to surrender. You take deep breaths and go into surrender, and then within a few seconds, you're in this Zen space, and you feel amazing, and your body is being healed. But you have to, people could easily die if they fall into cold water and freak out, panic, and then they go into shock, and then they don't have control over their body. Rather than relaxing, going into surrender and allowing the sensation, now you have control. This is anything in life, anything where we can experience resistance.
Fear again, isn't it? Fear.
What about it?
Where people, fear can be so powerful, it can make you stop doing anything. Mm-hmm. And when like you said, Max, if you're guided by the heart and you've got control of the mind, you can accomplish anything you want, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's just being willing to open up and receive in any moment. Sometimes it can be difficult when you have maybe more eyeballs, like stage fright, for example. Talking about fear, let's say you want to go out and like go on a stage and talk to a bunch of people. It's going to really cloud your judgment. And people also, you can see this when people are making content, even though it's on a much smaller scale, is people will put on this character that is not them. Yeah, they're trying to do it. They're honestly trying to deliver a message, but they're going into this place of it's really comes from fear and needing to be received rather than just being present and being themselves. And the more that you feel like you need to be received well by a bunch of people, the more that you're going to put all of these conditions and stipulations, overloading your energy patterns it's going to make something that's inauthentic and inorganic, and people don't pick up on it.
Yeah, it's so important to be authentic in everything you do within yourself. But when you were talking about earlier, a lot of the things are so simple that we're talking about, though. That's what always strikes me. Nothing here that's being discussed is complicated, is it? And all we have to do is allow it. And that is and we allow everything. And I 100% agree with you, Max. That is a tough pill to swallow sometimes, that fact.
The only thing that gets in the way is our stories.
Yeah.
It's like, because we can say like, okay, I allow whatever. Okay, but do you really? Because 95% of your mind is 95% of your decision making is subconscious mind. So if you want to change something about your decision-making processes, like how you react to situations, you have 5% of your operable mind available to you right now, which is fine. That's how the mind works. It doesn't mean that you're disabled or whatever, but you can say, I'm going to change this about myself. And then 95% of you is not changing that still. So this is why, one of the reasons why we go into a deep state, and we will a little bit later on this call, we'll go into a meditation exercise, because then we have more communication with the subconscious to be able to rewire and make these changes. And also there's, I don't remember what I was going to say. Sorry. I'm in a weird space right now mentally.
Oh, don't worry. The what I wanted to talk about there is something we're experiencing a lot, myself and Stephen, and also the clients that we've had, our friends that come to the Purple Mountain, is a lot of people are finding almost the mind taking over sometimes and becoming overwhelming. And there's so many things out there, not that it's an excuse, that are playing into that. So it seems a big challenge we have in this moment is to overcome letting the mind take over and overwhelm us. Like you said earlier, coming back to the heart space.
Mm-hmm.
I read something, it was a couple of months back, that said the mind is 1,000 voices with very few answers. Whereas the heart will always lead us where we need to go.
Very good. Yes, I love that. And the heart is very real. Like it's responsible for harmonizing. In Chinese medicine, it's responsible for harmonizing with the entire body. And also, we know from the Heart Math Institute that it has an electromagnetic field that communicates with all the cells in the body. It also it produces electrical impulses that travel throughout the rest of the body. It's responsible for your hormonal patterns that go throughout the rest of your body. So you come into the heart and center yourself in the heart. It's really the place of being able to go into oneness, or feel where you feel heaviness, or feel where you feel like some resistance in the moment. But it's not enough to just like instantly go into the heart and just like, oh, my problems are resolved, because you need to rewire your reaction response to everything that can happen.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Then there's no like this moment where you go, oh, that's it. I'm in the
You can have
heart.
a great healing. But what about tomorrow your life goes to shit and then everything
Yeah.
everything comes back? I see this is why I stopped doing one-off healing sessions, because like it doesn't stick when you teach people, because they can be so excited, like, oh my God, I feel amazing, my body's vibrating, oh my God, this is what it feels like to be healed, that kind of thing. And then they go back to the old reaction pattern because they weren't prepared for, maybe they were prepared for like a family member dying, but they're not prepared for their boss trying to let them go from the job, or whatever, like different situations. They can feel, they can go back to the old pattern when they go into this resistance. So yeah, it's about rewiring yourself and being able to carry yourself from the heart in every moment. So your lifestyle is a meditation. It's not about where can I find 30 minutes to sit down in the day and meditate. Yeah, that's great for you. But if you're not meditating the other 23 hours of the day, then you're just inviting suffering and pain and accelerating your aging and all the things.
Yeah,
we call it at the Purple Mountain, we call it living the practice. And we say to people, we know it's difficult for people because we live in a very physical world, but it would be easy if we could all sit in a Buddhist sanctuary and meditate all day, but we can't. We do live in this reality. We're having this experience. But if we adopt, it's like when we use the word discipline, I find the word discipline probably over the years, probably more negative. There's more of a negative side to the word discipline. I use the word devotion. We've got to devote our living practice all the time. We've got to practice what we preach. We've got to practice. Every day is a practice. We've got to unravel the illusions and the distortions of this reality that we've been holding on to. And by letting go, things would just fit into place and our bodies would become harmonized. It's a beautiful experience.
I like that, devotion instead of discipline.
Yeah, and I feel as well, when we talk about the process of healing, and it is a process, like you say, we have these wonderful moments of awakening and things unfolding. And then the next day, everything can go to shit, really, basically. And then we're faced with more challenges. But in a way.
And people are like, oh, I messed it up. I messed up the healing. And then they're kicking themselves for that and judging themselves and not forgiving themselves for, it's like, you do crypto or stocks and trends, they'll go up and then they come every time it needs to come up, it's got to come down at least halfway before, so it can balance before going up again. Like that's the same thing. We have to find stability so you can reach a new high with your energy and you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm so emptied out. I feel so clear. I feel amazing. I'm pain-free. Okay, you're at a high right now. Don't beat yourself up. If you come down about halfway or maybe all the way and you find new stability before going up again, that's part of the process.
Yeah.
I think I can be fully healed and if I'm not like fully healed, then I must be messing this up. I must be
It's something I've found, almost that side, you call it the shadow, or as things come up, it's welcoming that side in as well, as part of your whole self. It's where your broken parts are always also a part of your the beautiful soul as well.
Shadow work's definitely necessary. I had a big breakthroughs myself with shadow work, but some people focus on a little much, like a lot.
I agree.
I think just like take care of your shadow side and don't live there.
Yeah, because ultimately we're here to enjoy our experience on the earth and be joyful as well, and if we're in that place all the time, it's too much. Balance with everything. But moving on to our next subject with balance, I feel that's a perfect opportunity for me because I want to talk about grounding. Now, I know you do lots of videos on TikTok and they're shared on social media as well. And you recently did one on grounding as well that even reminded me, because I have a grounding mat on my bed, a sheet that I've not used for many months. And it reminded me of some of the symptoms I'd been experiencing that you were talking about in this very, very short video.
Oh, the earth imbalance?
Yeah, that one. And it was just enough to get the message through, which I do like about your videos. But I want to talk about grounding, and just starting off from anybody that is listening saying, I don't have a clue what we're talking about. Where do we start from when we talk about grounding and why it's necessary?
Grounding, people get confused. Even, people of all walks of life get confused about it because there's two meanings. There's electrical grounding and then there's energetic grounding.
Yeah.
So electrical grounding, we'll talk about first. It's surface of the earth is abundant with negative electrons. It's about negative 70 millivolts surface charge on average. And by connecting with the earth with the feet, we get grounded, we get replenished in our body with electron. The more that we're staying indoors with air conditioning units circulating artificial air, artificially processed air, I don't know what you call that. It's accumulating positive ions. And they give us basically this feeling of unwellness, of stuffiness, lethargy. It can be, it makes your blood cells stick together. It's not overly healthy. And we're in this artificial environment where we're becoming removed from our natural electrical selves, which every animal in nature is naturally grounded. Either they're swimming in the water, which is grounded, or they touch the ground. They're living on trees, which are grounding rods. We're the only animals really that decide we're just not going to be grounded for long periods of time by wearing shoes that have insulating soles and spending all our time inside. So grounding mat is a really easy way to just naturally be balancing your system while you're inside. But there's more to grounding, especially being an energy healer. The more it has more utility to talking about it energetically. So first of all, grounding electrically, helpful to do that for several hours a day to balance your body. Absolutely. If I'm feeling off, if I'm feeling like, emotionally just bleh, and I'm like, how can I feel better? First thing I'll ask myself is, when's the last time I grounded? If it's been a few days since I grounded, I'll go outside, put my feet on the dirt. But energetically grounding really has a lot of utility here. And this is what we're talking about with earth element imbalance and just feeling all the things that you can feel of being ungrounded, going crazy, feeling like you're worrying all the time, you're overthinking constantly. So when we're energetically grounding, basically is as easy as feeling your feet. feeling your feet, becoming aware of the fact that you have feet that are connected to the earth. If you're sitting in a chair right now and your feet are on the ground, you can feel your feet because this building that you're in is carrying the earth vibration. This is energetically grounding now. We're not electrically plugging into the earth, but we're energetically patterning the cells to the vibration of the earth. And you do this with your awareness. So feel your feet. Tune in to the more subtle energies. You will feel some kind of communication. You'll feel some kind of vibration. And this is where we start grounding. As soon as you're feeling this change in sensation, when you tune into your feet and you're feeling that vibration on the floor, you are now grounding. And so now we want to pull that energy more into the body. So breathe in. Breathe it in higher up the legs. And what you're doing is you're reclaiming more presence in your body by connecting with the earth vibration. And this is very powerful. This is also a way that you can supercharge your manifestations. If you're trying to call something into your reality, if you're trying to pray for something to happen in your life, if you do this from a space of being grounded, it's much stronger. It's much more connected with the 3D plane around us. That's why. Because for things to manifest, they can manifest in different levels. We're usually talking about appearing in the 3D plane when we talk about manifestation. For that to happen, we need to be connected with the earth plane. For that to happen, we need to be grounded.
Yeah. 100%. And it's balance again. I find with grounding as well. We can't be, we need to be connected with the earth as well, and not too far, not literally, but not too far into the clouds.
Sure, yeah, which there's kind of, I think, a bias in the spiritual community right now. It's like too much in the clouds a little bit.
Yeah, I feel it's going on a little bit with manifesting, I find. And I watched a podcast recently, and it was put quite well that basically you need to do your part. I can't just sit here now and say, right, I'm going to manifest all these things. They're going to knock on my door and everything's going to be great. I have to get out there and physically do my part as well. And so I feel it's the same with grounding that I
want to mention, just add on to what you said. So embodiment of a vibration is necessary. Like if you're going to attract a certain amount of wealth in a month, you need to embody that vibration, but also carry it into your actions. That's what cements it. Because so many people, I think they'll make a big shift energetically, but it doesn't hold, because energy is a very finicky thing. It can shift very easily. It doesn't hold. It doesn't set, because they don't execute it into action. When you execute it into action, that looks like going out and having conversations that you normally wouldn't have. It looks like being in a location that you normally wouldn't hang out in, because you experience a change in energy. If there's truly a shift, there's something that's going to be different in your behaviorisms. There's something that's going to be different in your physical reality that you're aligning to differently. So that's just a quick thing that I wanted to add to that, because I think that's why a lot of people will see inconsistencies in their manifestations, because they're not embodying and executing through their actions the energetic shifts that they experience.
Do you think as well, Max, when you talk about manifestation there, I don't know if you can relate this to what you've just said beautifully, by the way, is that particularly in the spiritual community, and I've fallen in praying to this, that you feel when we look at the art of giving and the art of receiving, that there can be an imbalance within you if you're giving all the time. And there can also be an imbalance if you're taking all the time. So there has to be a union of giving and receiving. It's like when we're asking for manifestation, if we receive abundance, then give something back. It's the union, the cycle, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot to be said there. Ungroundedness, common symptom of being ungrounded is being too giving, by the way. People that have an earth element imbalance usually are way too giving of themselves, worrying about everybody but themselves. Like they'll take care of anybody that's not them. and they kind of externalize their own health problems onto other people. It's feeling grounded. The opposite of feeling worrying and being overthinking all the time is feeling this peaceful groundedness throughout your body. It feels like you feel this grounded energy in your heart. So it's connecting all the way from your feet to your heart, and it's able to harmonize with all the cells in your body and provide you with this feeling of peacefulness. There's nothing to worry about. And if there is still something to worry about, then feel the earth more. Allow this feeling of peacefulness to penetrate every cell in your body. And also holding the eyes open. Everybody meditates, they close their eyes. Keeping your eyes open, looking around the room, taking in the five senses really anchors you into your body. That's really what being grounded is about, is being anchored to this wiring.
Wow. I just want to say as well, maybe I just want to hear your thoughts on this. There, you know, in the spiritual community, there are so many people. I'm not saying this in a judgment way at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, people, their heads are in the clouds. Everything is about spirit, and it, like you said, Max, you know, it does unground you. And when you're doing the spiritual work all the time, but I find that also when we look at chakra development, everybody wants to develop the third eye. They want to develop the crown, and they often forget the most important chakra. They're all important, the lower chakras. And do you find that when people are, you know, people are so wanting to connect with the third eye, the throat, the heart, that they forget the other chakras, like the sacral, like the root, and then they don't work on those chakras because they think, oh, it's beneath me. I just want to work with spirit. I don't want to work with those lower chakras.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And, you know, common problems you'll see with balances down there is problems in your relationships, problems with your money, problems with your housing situation, problems with your sexual ability, like, you know, all these things that are pretty important for your life. You know, it happens lower in this column. Also, anxiety, fear, guilt, shame, all these problems, they're in lower centers. So if you're not dealing with that, if you're not claiming space in your lower centers, you're not going to be able to balance yourself. Also, Chris, you just got combo certified, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that too, like descending more into the body and taking care of your lower centers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And by connecting with the earth, and you know, when we talk about Cambo, or we talk about anything where we're receiving healing on accepting nutrition of the earth, we are connecting with it.
Mhm.
Because I always feel that the earth as an energy or spirit is there to help us, you
Mhm.
know, and give us unconditional love. All we have to do is, coming back to what you said before, allow it.
Mhm.
That's all we have to do, you know, because no matter what we've done over the years, you know, right or wrong to this earth, I feel it just will love us unconditionally. We
Mhm.
just have to start
Yeah,
accepting.
definitely. And it can take all of your psychic trash, all of your emotional damage. It can take it all, turn it
Yeah.
into stuff.
You know what just come to
And
me there when we look about diet and food,
Mhm.
and I don't know what your thoughts on this is, Max. If we do any kind of spiritual work, we'll always have any kind of sort of ceremony, even if it's a cacao ceremony or a Cambo ceremony or any kind of healing. We always have a bit of fruit at the end because we find fruit of you know, when we look at electricity, I find that fruit gives us a burst of energy. It's like electric.
Oh,
And so that helps ground us as well. But I find that, I mean, we would never sit there eat vegetables after a lovely ceremony, but vegetables are very grounding as well. And that's why I'm trying to sort of, what's your thoughts about maybe when we look at grounding, can we ground ourselves by eating more fruit and vegetables? Does that help us ground us?
yeah. Anything that you eat is going to ground you more, because it's to a certain extent, it's holding the vibration of this reality, of this plane. The same thing happens in a dream. If you're in a dream or you're astral projecting and you eat some food, it's going to ground you in that layer of experience. So yeah, it definitely can make your experience more real. You'll also notice if you like fast for a few days, you'll feel very ethereal. You'll feel very light, and then as soon as you eat, you feel anchored. You feel like,
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
yeah. So definitely. And in Chinese medicine, they recommend sweets, like natural sweets, like sweet potatoes, root vegetables, and just things that are naturally sweet to balance the earth element.
Is there? Do you know any? So I just want to ask one more question there, Chris. Sorry, I just love this subject on grounding. It is something that I'm so strongly believe in.
Yeah, and as far as electricity, it literally raises your electricity to be more grounded. It makes you more magnetic. Like people will feel your presence more when you're more grounded.
I just wanted to get a little bit in, Stephen, and then ask you a question. It was only because it relates to food that I sometimes, more in the winter, I've been making like soups, and they're all from root vegetables. So I call it like a grounding soup as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I find that very beneficial. But over
Yeah,
to you,
any root is going to be, it's going to have that earth energy imbued into it because it's literally from the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use any crystals, any kind of healing crystals as part of your grounding?
I got some grids set up. Yeah, I got, I want more. I want a lot more, but I have blue amphibole. I have tourmaline. Tourmaline's my favorite. I have quartz. I have, I don't know, others. I need more. I have a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love crystals. I love the feeling of just picking them up and letting them pattern my cells. You know, that's how I do anything. Anything that I'll try to feel the frequency of. I just let myself go completely passive and just pick it up. Like I can pick up this glass and take in the feeling of this glass. It's okay. You know, I like my crystals more. But yeah, I got some grids set up that give good energy to the space for sure. I think that's
amazing. Yeah, we use it. I don't know what it's called in America. We use a crystal called hematite. Have you ever heard of hematite?
Yeah. I don't have any, but I've seen people with it.
Yeah, we have some rough pieces about that big, and just it's amazing to ground. We do a treatment called magnetic healing, and we use like 30 to 60 magnets from the hematite crystal, and we attach them on the physical body, and we do a grounding on the grounding mat. And that's one of the I've experienced a lot of treatments. One of the most relaxing treatments I have ever had. The magnetic treatment, yeah.
That sounds like a total body reset.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, but when you mention crystals as well, again, of the earth, they're of the earth, you know, and all these crystals are within the core of the earth. It can be, that energy can be called on if we need it.
Yeah, and they have natural vibrating frequencies, oscillating frequencies. That's why we use them in circuits, because they have a natural frequency that they're going to generate no matter what we do. So it's like a reference point.
We use a lot of shungite at the Purple Mountain as well for filtering our water.
Yeah. I've been thinking about what you told me. You said you got the water filtration system, and then you got that special glass, right?
Yeah,
the mirror glass. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Matt.
Sounds awesome. You guys, I've been thinking about it so much. And every time I open my fridge, I'm looking in there and be like, man, if I had some of that special glass those guys are talking about, the Purple Mountain friends are telling me about this, but I tried to find it. I couldn't find it.
Well, when you come over to the UK, I promise you, I'll give you a couple of free bottles and you can have them.
Awesome.
But you'll have to come to the Purple Mountain for a week.
Yeah, sure. What's the travel situation? You guys letting people in?
Yeah, ignore what they're saying. It's fine. Shine your light and get yourself through. You'll be fine.
Yeah, all right.
We'll manifest it.
Yeah.
I have a passport now, so it can actually be done.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, that's a good incentive as well. But yeah, and when we were mentioning just offhand about water, you know, drinking water as well, another way of grounding in many ways.
Water is important also to curb your appetite.
Yeah.
Like where most of the time we think we're hungry, we're just thirsty. And you can drink water before you eat. Some people would say you shouldn't mix drinks and food, but if you have a weight loss problem, you're trying to lose some weight and you're trying to get more grounded and stop overeating so much, drinking water before you're eating can help a lot because it'll really reduce your appetite.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, you know, I just want to link that in with grounding a little bit because it was, I know when I watched your video, it was talking about one of the symptoms, if you want to call it that, of being ungrounded is actually bloating as well. So I want to talk
Yeah,
about
earth element rules digestion in Chinese medicine. So anything related to digestion or digesting physical stuff or emotional stuff can be related to earth element. And it's the stomach and the spleen, the mouth, the major organs that are associated with it.
Yeah. So and it's not always down to what we eat as well. It might, like we say, something energetically.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I have clients that go plant-based and still have problems with their digestion because it's not what they're eating. It's their energy. It's some mind shit. It's some emotional pattern that's existing there that's causing energetic blockages. I would love for everything to be about diet, but it's just not that simple.
No.
And remember, Chris, remember what we were taught as well. We don't eat food, we eat energy. So look at everything that you eat. So when you go to the supermarket or go to the grocery store, look at food as energy. So when you look at everything, you're eating energy. You're not eating food, you're eating energy. That's what you're eating.
Yeah, you look at it that way. There's a lot of dead stuff that we eat.
Yes.
Yeah. Is do you know as well? I know you do a little bit of, well, you have done a little bit of traveling, and now when you've been on a plane, Max, I've heard this before, that it can help with jet lag or feeling imbalanced by, as soon as you can, getting to some ground and taking your shoes and socks off and grounding straight away. That can assist your body when you've been traveling.
Definitely ground when I travel, but I'm not really. I've maybe experienced jet lag like once. I don't think I'm super prone to having that. But yeah, they have demonstrated in labs that if you ground for 45 minutes after flying somewhere, wherever you are in the world, you're grounding with that local space. It's going to synchronize your circadian rhythm to the local region. So your cortisol levels change to match whatever the circadian rhythm for the place that you're in would be, because your cortisol levels are linked to your wakefulness. It's highest in the morning when you wake up, and it's dwindling until it gets so low at the end of the day, you're tired and you got to go to sleep. So your cortisol level changes according to wherever you are in the world when you're grounded, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So this is what we all need to be doing, synchronizing when we travel.
Yeah, really. I think that eventually it'll be. Clint Ober believes this also. He's the guy that pioneered a lot of the research about this. That eventually will, you're booking a hotel, and one of the features will be like grounded floors or something, like that you're checking into a place that it'll actually be grounded. Like that'll be just like AC is considered an amenity that is quality of life thing. Groundedness is probably going to be considered the same, because it's just natural and anti-inflammatory. I mean, people experience years of chronic back pain, arthritis, all kinds of inflammatory stuff, reduction of symptoms in multiple sclerosis, like all these inflammatory problems that can just dissipate with regular grounding. And that's another thing, is people will experience, like, they'll try to ground for a little bit. They'll go outside for an hour and they'll be like, I don't feel different. This is bullshit. It doesn't work. Like, you got to understand, if you're accumulating imbalances of voltages in your body for years and years and years, it's probably going to take more than several hours to balance the electrical system of your body. And also, what's interesting about it is it starts working on whatever needs healing the most. Whatever's the most inflamed part of the body is where the electrons start going, is where it starts to heal and balance in the body first.
What's your thoughts on wearing like shoes and things like that?
Yeah, I've been trying to less and less, honestly.
Same.
Yeah, I've started using these. When I started doing a lot more healing work, my toes just started screaming at me to stop wearing shoes so much. Like it was like I felt good all in my body, except my feet were like, they felt like this, and it was like they were asking me to open them up again. So I got these toe separators. They're called yoga toes, and they basically they put separate to basically stretch them out and get your feet back to the normal configuration. Because our toes aren't supposed to go like this. They're supposed to, the widest part of our feet is supposed to be at our toes.
Yes.
It's supposed to fan out like that. But we all have like this because we are constricted living in wearing shoes our whole life. The thing is, it affects everywhere in your body. Your feet aren't just your feet. That's why foot reflexology is a thing. Like, you can experience relief of pain in your eye or your digestion by having a spot on your foot rubbed. So I just started noticing, like, I started wearing these toe separators and feeling so much going on in my body, and it feels amazing. But as far as shoes, I wear wide toe shoe boxes now,
Yeah.
and I just try not to. If I'm not out and about, I'm not wearing shoes.
Yeah, that's.
I remember, Chris, what we were told not long ago, actually, when we're looking at hands. The development of hands, forcing children to write is one of the worst things we can do, because it does something to the bone structure of your hand. Wearing shoes and forcing children to wear shoes is one of the worst things. It damages the creativity. It damages the link, between the earth and that child. So, simple knowledge that should be free to everybody. It forces, like you said, it forces the toes like that. Shoes are one of the worst things for the physical body, isn't it? And even writing, forcing our hands and feet are not meant to be developed in this way. It should be natural. It should be all natural.
Yeah, you saying that also sheds a light on like just how maybe so many people are disconnected from their spiritual nature. It starts early. We start getting disconnected real early. And this affects, like with Qigong, we see this too. We're doing different mudras, different shapes with the hands. And when you're making these different shapes, it's lighting up different circuits. It's opening up different meridians of the body. Like just holding your hands like this and making a ball is opening up 6 meridians in your body, 6 of the major channels out of the 12. So like when we're going into talking about like how do we move our hands or how do we configure our feet for our highest health, like it is affecting the flow of energy. So if you're doing something that's constricting all the time, I never even thought about writing, but yeah, that makes sense. I remember being a kid trying to learn how to write with good handwriting and my hand cramping so bad.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is normal. Everyone has to do this, so this is fine. But I remember like super pain in my hand, especially when you're writing all day in different classes, pages and pages of work. Yeah, wow. I never even thought about how that developmentally affects us.
I don't know if it's the same over in the US, Max, but over here, like in England, a lot of our parents, the generation before mine, would talk about at school where they were taught to write with the opposite hand as well. They were almost made to write with, say, if they were left-handed and they were forced to.
You guys do that?
Yeah, that happened in like my parents. That happened, and their parents.
I mean, I understand the reasoning, but no, that does not happen in America.
But remember the church as well, Max. When I grew up in Germany, I was left-handed. I was and I was.
Yeah, I know that's bad, right? That's
and then I was forced to wear it with my right. But apparently, in the Bible, again, the Bible's coming in. The Bible said that anybody writing with the left is the devil worshipper. And that's why the church conditioning, don't write with your left, because what is your left side? Is your creative side, is the divine feminine side. Yeah. So it's trying to suppress that energy.
Wow.
So it's all manipulation. When we talk about the battle between light and dark, this battle's been going on for so long, trying to manipulate and distort this sacred energy. But remember as well, with the writing, trying to force children into writing, it stops them connecting with the land, because majority of people in the very, very early days all can link with the earth, didn't they? They worked on the land. So as you get them in education, it gets them disconnected to the land, gets them in the office, it gets them working in the corporate system. So everything is about disconnecting, suppressing our awakening.
Wow, yeah. I'm really feeling what you're saying. That goes pretty deep. There's and you know what? It's even more beautiful that despite all that, you still have the natural alignment with truth and this natural spiritual hunger that people have, and so many people searching and looking out, looking for other solutions to what's out there. Yeah. I from all the people that I've talked to, maybe I'm just in this weird slice of reality where I'm just talking to abnormal people, but what I'm talking to, it seems like even if they're not into meditation, they've never done this stuff their whole life. They have tinnitus, they have XYZ incurable condition, and they know that it's possible to heal, even if they've never meditated before, because they see so many people making content like what I make, or people talking about, oh, I had this problem and now it's completely gone. Here's what I did. You know, you have so many people, even though Western medicine will call it anecdotes. You know, they'll try to tell you real world experiences don't matter because it didn't come from a doctor, because it didn't come from a peer reviewed study. And yet you have droves of people having real world experiences, real world healings, and then coming out with their stories. And so many people are being awakened to what's possible now because of this. This is one of the beautiful things about the internet. And we communicate with each other and tell people what's real, even though you're not going to see a peer reviewed study saying that all these people healed their tinnitus by practicing Qigong or by drinking hydrogen peroxide or whatever, but you can find droves of people online that have healed themselves doing just that.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you earlier, actually, and if anybody isn't aware of Max's work, by the way, you can check out his website. We'll put the links below. But you've recently done a lot of work and continuing course on eye healing and eyesight healing. Now, what I wanted to ask you is, have you experienced anybody in your healing work that come in, they're maybe not sure about all the other stuff, but they have a problem and they want to do something about it? And when they receive the really positive results, it's kind of an awakening for them as well to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want more. Have you experienced that with your clients?
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly, that's my whole vision with getting into the healing stuff was originally to give people a reason to be interested in learning telekinesis. It was like, because originally I tried to teach people telekinesis, and it really was like, it's something that more appeals to like 12-year-olds, and you know, don't get me wrong, it's awesome, but like it's just not super marketable. And so I wanted people to awaken to this energetic infinite nature that we have. But here's the thing, in marketing, if you're going to present yourself a certain way, you need to focus on one thing. You need to address a pain point. So I talk about healing. We talk about healing health problems, healing imbalances in the body, because that's a side effect. If you're going to develop yourself to bridge this gap, this disconnect, you have to balance first. Balance so that you can quiet the internal world and open up to these other abilities. But have I experienced people that have opened up to one thing leading to another? And like, yes, absolutely. This is what I do a 3-month coaching program. So we'll deal with whatever the main issue is that someone has a health problem with, or sometimes people just want to develop spiritually, but it opens up so much more. Like working with one client on healing her, it's really like this like tension pattern that she's just like nervous, anxiety, depressed all the time. And we're working on healing that. And so her vision starts improving as a result of that, because it's multifaceted, right? I have the eyesight healing course, but it's really about a lot more than just healing your eyesight, because your eyesight heals as a result of your energy healing, of your perception, your energetic field expanding. You expand your energetic field, your sensory perception improves. That's just what happens. Our sensory perception is an indicator of our energetic field, not the other way around. So if you're having a disparity, if you're having some deficiency, I should say, in some sense of one of your 5 senses, then your energetic field is telling you something about where it is not fully expanded, where it's not fully harmonized with everything that you're experiencing.
Yeah, so
something that you don't want to hear, something you don't want to see, something you don't want to smell. Smell was blocked in me for most of my life. And I could barely smell anything. Now I see I didn't want to smell, because it was such a unpleasant experience to like smell like someone's like really bad smelling poop. It was so unpleasant that I didn't want to smell. So I think somewhere along the line as a kid, I just blocked out my smell. And now it's one of my strongest senses, especially psychically. When I'm connecting with people, I can smell really strongly if something is off in their energy. If something is with them that's not theirs, I can smell this foul scent. But it's just like something that's opened up as a result of balancing and opening up to all things and not judging. If you judge, I don't want to experience this, then you're not going to, or you're going to keep experiencing it over and over again, one or the other.
I've just got to check, Max. Were you saying that you can sort of smell anything? Are we okay? Yeah, maybe tell us after. Tell us after.
Yeah, sure.
But are you familiar with Dolores Cannon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only because people tell me about her all the time. I've never.
Yeah, I only come to her because something she mentioned with on a similar note with healing, when people have problems with their shoulders, the heaviness around the shoulders, and simply they're carrying too much burden in their life, and that's an energetic problem to a physical symptom.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a client heal his sciatica. Sciatica is in the lower back, pinched nerve, come about as a result of issues with the father, issues with finances, and feeling overburdened with familial support. So this particular client had issues with his father, emotional attachments that were there. As soon as he released those, his sciatica healed almost entirely overnight. So it's like our bodies truly are a microcosm for the universe, even though they look like they do. Like we have a head and shoulders and arms and legs, and like it doesn't look like you would think a universe looks like. And yet we have this weird. It's like it's almost like it's too simple. It's so simple people don't believe it.
Yeah.
Like your shoulders are hurt. You're carrying too much. There's too much of a load that you're okay. Like relax a little bit. If your eyes are having problems, there's something that you don't want to see. It's literally. It's holographically simple. Like it repels the mind how much sense everything makes.
Yeah. Okay, so I know I asked you earlier on in the day if we could do a little bit of an energy experiment for us.
Yes.
So if that's okay with you, so what I'm going to do is, just while we're preparing, I'm going to adjust the screen. So I think I can make you a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some work on that.
How are you feeling in your body, Stephen? You're muted.
Oh, I'll just that.
I've had a bit of tension in the back, a bit of tension in the body. So, yeah. You're probably picking that up, aren't you, Max?
Just wondering. So it'll help guide what we go into.
Oh, here we go.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of tension in my body, but generally okay. Yeah.
Where, back to, or where?
Top of my shoulders here.
Okay, awesome. Yes. So we're going to do a quick energetic exercise. Invest in yourself right now. If you're watching this, if you're listening, invest in the next few weeks, a few months of your life by taking a few minutes to drop in with your body here and realign, discard limiting patterns. So just allow yourself a few minutes of patience so that you can change your life for the better. Okay, guys, so we're going to start by breathing into your heart. And we're forming a collective healing field here. So everybody that's listening to this live, everybody that will tune in afterwards, they're still able to connect to this. Yes, yawning is very good. Yawning is a natural energetic release. As soon as you start becoming more present in your body, it's very normal for there to be releases like yawns, farts, burps, whatever. Let it all come up. Just releasing and rebalancing. The more present you get in an area that you have not been present, the more that you will feel inclined to yawn or itch or whatever. Just stay still to the best of your ability. Breathe into the heart center, the center of the chest. Go into feeling. The more that we can tune into feeling here, the more that we can harmonize with everything in the body. So let yourself notice as you go into your heart, you're going to feel maybe your abs stick out to you, maybe your shoulders, you notice. You're going to feel areas of tension. Because as you start to bring things into harmony, the portions of your body that are out of harmony are going to stick out to you. So fully allow all sensations. This is the crux of what we were talking about at the beginning of this, and as far as what's preventing you from being grounded. When you avoid fully feeling a sensation, you don't occupy that space in your body. So let yourself feel the tension in your shoulders and your back, wherever you may be feeling it in your body. And let go of the meaning that you give this feeling. We go into judgment when we judge something as pain. So let go of this meaning that you may give any discomfort in your body. Keep breathing into the heart. Stay in feeling. Tune to the magnetism of your being. When you tune in enough, everything feels like magnetic energy. Maybe it feels like electricity to you. Maybe it feels like pressure. Whatever it is, you're feeling real data. You're feeling real energy. Allow yourself to notice it. Allow yourself to yawn. The more that you breathe in, the more that you may want to yawn. Very good. And now, all of these sensations of discomfort, anywhere you're still giving it meaning, please let go. Please change this now. It's just energy. It's all neutral. It's all neutral. Breathe into the heart and breathe in all sensations that you experience. Breathe in the sound of my voice. Breathe in the feeling of the air around you. Breathe in the smells, the tastes, all sensations around you. Remember that it's all interpretations of the mind. So you're all experiencing these within yourself. Remember this as you harmonize and breathe into the heart. Slightly smile. Smiling lifts the internal organs. It opens the crown. It changes the flavor. It changes your internal posture towards energy. Almost there, doing great. Breathe into the heart, feeling everything as one. My voice is you. Everything in the room around you is you. You're just experiencing all of this within yourself. Now go into surrender. Deeply go into surrender. Stop trying to hold yourself up. Let the energy hold you up. Anything that's nagging your mind, let it go. And fully go into surrender. Stop needing to control. Tightness in the shoulders and the neck and the head usually comes from needing to control. And the best way to control anything is to stop trying to control. When you let go, everything tends to fall into alignment and work out in your favor. So fully surrender. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the need to expect any certain outcome in your life. Any worries that you have about how something works out, it's all ego shit. Let it go. Now feel your feet. If your feet are not on the ground, you can put them on the floor. Feel your feet. We're talking about grounding. Let's ground. Breathe in this energy through your feet, into your heart. You're feeling yourself from the feet and breathing this earth energy, this earth vibration up into your heart center. And you're just harmonizing with everything that you're feeling. It's a deep feeling of surrender. And it's also a deep feeling of support. We operate from the belief that we need to support ourselves. This is not the case. If you live in surrender and you're connected to earth energy, and you have internal support inside of you all the time. So feel this propping you up. As you breathe through your feet, breathe into the heart. Anywhere you feel gravity, you're taking in that earth vibration. Let it pattern every cell of your body. And breathe into the heart. It's very good. Now set an intention here. Let's use this energy. Set an intention for what you want to experience in the next few weeks. A change in your life. Maybe you want more abundance. Maybe you want to have more success in relationships. Maybe you want to have, you're trying to get a new job. Maybe you want to be more fit. You want to feel more peace in your body, more energy in your body. Whatever this intention is, let it accumulate in your heart space. Breathe in and hold this intention. Just by holding it and staying in this energy, it magnifies. You're feeling the earth. You're feeling your heart. You're setting this intention now. Now expand out around you. See and feel this heart field expanding out around you and fill the room. This is your space. You are claiming this space. It was just inside your body. Now it's out around you. See and feel your field with this intention that you've set for yourself, expanding out around you, filling the room, going even further outside your apartment, outside your house. See and feel this energy expanding into the world. Expanding throughout the earth and the sky in your city. See and feel it expanding out more into your state, your province. And even more, fully filling the sky, going out into space, going deeper into the earth. Expand all the way to the edges of the universe, claiming this space with your energy, your intention. feeling at ease within yourself, at peace within yourself. And so it is. Come back to your heart, holding the vibration of gratitude. Gratitude for everything that you have and everything that's coming. Everything that is moving into place for you because of what you've done here today. Hold yourself with gratitude. And carry this forward from this moment on. How are you guys feeling?
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Very relaxed.
Mm-hmm. So this is a really powerful way to do any reality creation. When you do it from a grounded space rather than just centered space.
Yeah. And I felt like, when you said with your voice, I felt like you were in this room. A visual, so we were all connected.
Awesome, man. Great connection.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that, Max.
I couldn't stop yawning.
Yeah, that was awesome, Stephen. That's a really good sign. It's a really good sign. Anytime you're yawning, you're moving a lot.
Yeah, I was yawning. I could really feel I think the powerful word that I've really picked up tonight out of everything that we've discussed and experienced is being aware is half the battle already won. Once you become aware and just stop, you know what you have to do for the body. And it was just amazing. I thought, wow, I'm not connecting with my heart here. And I could feel the energy coming in. So I knew automatically my spirit was telling me once I started to listen, that's where I need to be more in the heart, ground yourself more, slow down. So yeah, so thank you. My tears, I don't know where all the tears are. My tears were coming down my side of my eyes. It was like I was crying. It was very strange, very
Awesome.
powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, you just reclaimed some heart space right there, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Amazing.
It's amazing. I feel like we could do another 2 hours now.
Yeah.
You've just recharged us, Max. So
Yeah. All right, the next two.
Yeah, but I just these talks go so fast, and I know it's the third time you've spoke with us, but it's been great.
I love it, man. I love talking to you guys. It's awesome. It's always a pleasure.
And very much likewise. And it's we wouldn't have really a podcast if we didn't have these wonderful people from around the world who are giving up the time to just share their philosophies and thoughts and their life stories. And we're all here for the same reason, I believe, just in the hope that it resonates with anybody listening, that you can take part of our story or the work we're doing and somehow help it to enhance your journey, or you can, it might even, just the simplest, make you feel like you're not on your own, because nobody is, absolutely not.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very good time to be alive and be one of the crazy woo-woo people. Also, there's many, many, many people. I talk to a lot of people that feel like they're really alone. If you feel like you're alone, you're just manifesting. You're at a place where you're still manifesting the old patterns, and there's a lot of people out in the world now. Like most of the people I talk to are people that we can have conversations like this too. So it's a good time to be alive and be a weirdo into this stuff. We joke and we say we're weirdos, but obviously it's just opening up to the nature of things that we would be connected to more if we weren't raised in such a disconnected system. But yeah, as far as there's plenty of other people. For anyone listening, there are a lot of people out there in the world right now that are into exactly the stuff that we're talking about right now. You are not alone.
Yeah, and I feel that's one of the huge. There's always positives in every situation. Just during the whole last couple of years, I'm not going to use the names for specific things. People using platforms like we're using now has connected people worldwide. So that's a positive side. I know a lot of people talk about the internet, and of course it has its negative sides, but there's a lot of positives as well in that duality of we've been able to connect, and people that may have felt very alone in their homes being able to click on Zoom and sit in a circle and meditate, or be part of a guided meditation or a coaching session. And that's amazing in itself.
Yeah, it's really crazy, and it's more connecting it's reminding us of our connectedness. Like we are all existing in overlap, and being in this 3D world, we can fall into the illusion that we're separate. And the internet definitely helps to remind us that everything is existing in overlap, like we just experienced with the meditation, and everybody that meditated along with us that were holding the field. Everything exists in overlap, and this is just an excuse. This screen, this is a symbol in the 3D reality to connect us to our already 5D connected nature. Yeah, the internet, I think it's a beautiful thing. Sure, there's negatives, but there's a lot of positives. I mean, we can all talk to each other. All the people of the world, we can talk to each other. That's so valuable.
Yeah, and a heartbeat.
Yeah, we're connected now.
Yeah, and just something from that meditation, that exercise you did for us, that I've been reminded of.
Yes.
I know you mentioned earlier of the initiation I've recently been on, healing retreat, that no matter what, it's remembering we can always just stop and breathe. And it's something I needed to be reminded of, that sometimes we're so fast because we're passionate, and if you love what you're doing, and everything can get so quick, but we can always just stop and breathe. And it's something I've tried to be more mindful of. And that thing of, in a way, of going on to the next thing, we are trying to knowingly or unknowingly controlling our reality a little bit. We should just stop and breathe. And yeah, this is what I'm feeling at the minute. Here's what's coming. Here's what's leaving. It's just a flow. Yeah.
Unplug from that overthinking mind a little bit and become more present.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Max. What have you got coming up? Anything exciting on the horizon that you've got planned?
TV show coming up, so that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll see how that pans out. But there's a TV show. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it. Anyway, I may be on a TV show pretty soon. We'll see.
Yeah, keep an eye out. That's a little, so it's like a little spoiler, you'd call that, maybe.
Yeah, well, hey, we're trying to change the world, so normalize this conversation that we're having, and show that not everybody that has conversations like this, it's your real world, normal, everyday people. It's not just, the stereotypical image of a woman who does palm readings or is a psychic, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's we have all ranges of people. It's not just this super woo topic anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, something I'm surprised of over here, which is great. We talk so often about avoiding television and such, but we mentioned Wim Hof. And that's actually on a BBC station over here, and it's a little bit celebrity and things like that, but strip that away, and there's a lot of subjects being discussed about looking into our emotions and things like that I see as a huge positive of getting out there. So it's creeping in.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good conversations being had. Really, again, just a really exciting time to be alive. And I wanted to mention about the rhino real quick, if you want.
Yes. Now I'll just give you a little bit of anybody who hasn't listened before. We've spoke to Max, as we said, a couple of times before, and a very good friend of ours, well, a few friends have asked what the significance is of the rhino. And so we have our answer now. So over to you, Max.
Yeah, so the thing about the rhino is, no matter what the situation it's in, the rhino always moves forward. It can be backed into a corner and it's still going to move forward. So no matter what the situation is, pretty much doesn't back down, and is only safe when it's moving forward. So this is what it's a reminder to keep moving forward, no matter what the costs. So no matter what the pressures on you, no matter what the conditions, how hopeless it can seem. And that's what the meaning of that is. It belongs to my housemate. Yeah. And we were talking a lot about surrender in this. So it's really as simple as that. You're moving forward as long as you're not stagnant. And you're only stagnant when you're constricting and resisting because you don't want to feel something.
Yeah. So true. Well, thank you so much once again, Max. So much gratitude for sharing this time with us. We look forward to many more to come when we're on like number 10, or maybe you're over here in the UK.
I think, yeah, one of these interviews, I'm going to be just in the room with you guys, because I'm going to definitely be coming to the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're always welcome at the Purple Mountain for sure. And I'm sure many of our friends and wider community would love to meet you and be part of your workshops as well.
Yeah. Do you guys do workshops over there?
Yeah, we do. And they're really, really popular, that kind of...
Maybe we should organize something.
Yeah, lovely. If you're coming over, you can run a workshop, and and then we can collaborate, and then maybe you can come and do one of our retreats with us, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Right on. Okay, yeah, let's communicate about that. It is May, so I don't know when a good time to be over there is.
Well, do you like rain, Max? Do you like lots of rain?
Okay, actually, yeah.
That is like 10 months of the UK. So
wow, that sounds kind of nice. Yeah, I love rain.
We'll take you to the Lake District as well. The very famous lakes, and it's beautiful up there. Amazing.
We're actually about 2 minutes from the sea where we're located.
Wow.
The seafront, so we're really, really close to the water.
Wow. You guys get a lot of water exposure between the rain.
That's awesome. So we look forward to everything to come. Thank you, everybody who's been listening. If you want to know more about Max's work, we will be posting all the links below, whether you're listening to us or watching us. If you're watching us on YouTube, please click and subscribe, and then you'll be able to enjoy more content to come. Or on Spotify, give us a follow. Thank you so much. And you can also check out thepurplemountain.com. And just once again, thank you, everybody. And we're just sending our love out until we speak again. Thanks so much.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you for watching the Collective Awakening podcast. For more information on the Purple Mountain Spiritual and Wellbeing Centre, you can visit our website at thepurplemountain.co.uk, and don't forget to click and subscribe.